First Alert 4 crews are spanned out live around the metro as we brace for another round this evening. We'll check in with our Avery Martinez and Russell Kinsall there in just a moment. But first, our Caroline Hecker is in the powerhouse Silverado. Caroline, where are you and what are you seeing right now?
Morgan, we're in the Weldon Spring O'Fallon area on 94, headed west. We're trying to get over to Interstate 64. Nice. We're almost there. I can tell you we took 364 to get here, and what normally is a 20 or 25-minute drive from Maryland Heights, where we started, has taken closer to an hour. So things are definitely slow moving. They haven't been gridlocked like we've seen on some maps. They are moving, like you can see. Roads are slushy, a little bit slippery, but people are moving. We're trying to get out to Interstate 64 to see what things look like as you head westbound. I know I was hearing reports earlier around the lunch hour that people heading from O'Fallon to downtown St. Louis, that was taking in excess of 2.5 hours. Of course, that's headed eastbound. So we're going to go out there, kind of see what that looks like to get an idea of what you might expect going westbound in St. Charles County as that evening commute ramps up. We know 64 is usually pretty busy when it's dry and it's nice out. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like tonight, if people left early, and how things are going to shape up as far as the roads there. Now, I do want to toss to our Avery Martinez. He has also left Maryland Heights a much longer time ago than I did. He is still in St. Louis City, Avery. I think you're on 64 near Grand, heading over into Illinois. What are things looking like there?
Well, Caroline, I think the best way to describe it is we are seeing what I would call leapfrogging or yo-yoing of the traffic. Some areas, it's almost a standstill. Some of the roads have standing snow and really a backup. But then other areas, we're actually moving at a pretty decent clip. We were able to get from Frontenac Forest Park pretty simply, but now that we're down, we passed Chaffetz Arena, past Harris-Stowe University, making our way towards downtown, headed towards Illinois, and you can just see we're in one lane that's moving pretty good, but you can see the difference in the snow level here where the plows haven't gone between the lines, but you can see just the bumper-to-bumper traffic. We seem to hit these pockets where we're really moving at a decent speed with a lot of space, and then suddenly you go around the corner and it's backed all the way up. I do want to mention that some areas are also seeing heavier snowfall, bigger snowflakes, and other areas it's a little easier to see. We're also seeing some cloud cover. I don't know if you can really make it out, but just past this overpass here, far off in the distance, you can just make out some of the skyline of St. Louis down there, downtown St. Louis, but you can't quite see the arch. We are headed towards Illinois, and what Caroline was talking about, people leaving early, I think you're seeing some of that right now. We're seeing all the way through here plenty of red lights. I have seen plenty of snowplows. I do want to mention I've seen a number of vehicles pulled over to the side. I've seen a number of vehicles that, well, they've got their flashers on. They're sitting there. Like I said, though, we're really seeing a real variety depending on where you're at. Forest Park, it was pretty clear, pretty easy moving. But as we slowly got more towards the downtown here, we really started to see a big change in the traffic patterns around here. Again, I want to mention that the off-ramps and the on-ramps that I've been seeing the whole way from Maryland Heights to here, man, there's ice, there is snow, there is moisture. Some are very wet. Some do look like a sheet of glass, but just be careful no matter which way you go and give yourself plenty of extra time. But I want to throw it to Russell Kinsall because he's seeing some of the impacts even further west going out into St. Charles County and how it's even impacting some people with their school commutes and their pickups. So Russell, what are we seeing this evening?
I got to tell you right now, road conditions here on Hackman Road in St. Peter's in front of Francis Howell North High School, much better than they were whenever school was let out at 11:30. In fact, some of the roads were impassable. They were in such bad condition that the buses from some of the schools weren't even leaving with the kids. They were staying there at the school. So let me show you what we saw earlier today here in front of this high school. We were here when 3 cars slid in the slick conditions and collided in front of Francis Howell North High School. Now, traffic was moving so slowly, the damage wasn't significant. There were no injuries. But because some roads were impassable, the Francis Howell School District decided to hold elementary and middle school students at their schools and ask parents to come pick them up. Several other districts, including the St. Louis School District, put out the word to ask parents to pick up their children because buses would be traveling so slowly in these road conditions, it would cause significant delays in getting kids home. Once again, you could see that Hackman Road is in much better shape than it was earlier today. There's still some slushy snow out here, but in the actual roadway where the car cars are traveling. It's mostly just wet, so traffic is getting along pretty good right now. But I got to tell you, because conditions were so bad earlier, there were a lot of parents questioning why districts had school at all today. You'll hear from those parents and what the district's response is. That's coming up all new at 5. Live in St. Peters, Russell Kinsell, First Alert 4.
And Russell, we'll see you in less than an hour. Thank you. You're taking a live look now with our Ford Skycam network over I-64 and I-270 in Town and Country. You can see traffic flowing smoothly there, still going very slowly though. Modot crews have been working through the traffic snarls we've seen since the snow started falling this morning. The department says the approach is different from that first snowfall we saw over the weekend.
This is not a storm like it was over the weekend storm. Things are cold already. Things are very cold. The snow's sticking to the roadway. It's going to be more difficult to get up. It's not a wet, heavy snow. It's a light snow. So there's not a lot for us to push. It's just going to melt. It's going to stick on the roadway and going to cause us problems. So please slow down as you do that.
And First Alert 4 has been monitoring the conditions for our Illinois drivers as well. Illinois Department of Transportation's Chief of Operations, Joe Monroe, joins us live now over the phone. Joe, thank you for joining us. How are your crews battling these conditions right now?
It's a little bit tougher than over the weekend. It's hit and miss. It's really not enough snow for us to shove. So we're having to use chemical. Right now, with a little bit of filtered sun and the temperatures in the mid-20s, it's working, but it's really predicated on how close you are to that truck. If the truck's been a while since it's been on that road, you probably have some snow accumulation, at least some slush. If you're closer to the truck, things are in much better shape. It's really a mixed bag, which we don't like to report, but it's just the honesty of the situation. There are heavier pockets of snow. There are areas where we haven't had a whole lot of snow in the southern part of our district. We are moving some resources around, but it's unfortunately with the evening rush upon us, it's going to be a slow go.
Yeah, and you brought up the evening rush, moving resources around. Did the timing of this snow affect you all's operation at all?
I don't think so. It was going to hit, and to be honest with you, other than there is a little bit of a lunch peak on our side of the river, we probably built up a little bit more of a queue, but, Mother Nature wants to win. She wins. It came in an area. We were a little more prepared for it to come in the southern part of the area of our district, hit a little bit further north, and it actually mixed with a little bit of sleet, which is a little bit unexpected. One time we're having chemical down ahead of the storm, probably hurt us for the first hour and a half of the event, but it's now turned and working on our favor because we definitely have a bond breaker, so we shouldn't get any real stuff that will freeze the pavement as long as we stick with it. So again, it's a challenging storm. I don't know who was speaking, but they're right. This is a different event than over the weekend. Not an opportunity to plow other than maybe a gore here or there. But, it's going to be a chemical treatment. We got to keep our trucks rolling and try to keep the traveling public safe.
All right, Joe, thank you. That's the IDOT Chief of Operations there speaking. We want to thank you again for all that you do.